Hello, my friends. Happy Tuesday. I'm actually going to shut the door really quick. Okay. Prevent any kitty interruptions. So, pardon my appearance today. We are actually babying actually it's the hot water heater, I think, that's awry, but our boiler was acting up last week and we figured out the cause, but it's going to require us to shut down the heat and the hot water for like an entire day. And it's just been too cold to do that. So we've been kind of turning hot water on, turning hot water off, turning hot water on, turning hot water off. And this last night was hot water on. So I took a shower last night, but I have not taken one today. So here we are. It's been a week for sure. I'm fighting something, so I apologize if I start coughing. I do have some water here. And then I'm just tired. Good thing for snow days, because I literally slept most of the day yesterday. We helped dig out our neighbors next door, the snowblower. It got too, the snow got too heavy as it warmed up that the snowblower was just getting stuck. And so we ended up having to actually, like, old school shovel. Nate, myself, and then Alyssa came to help us after a little bit too. And so my back is not made up for this these days. But we're doing okay. We're surviving, of course, and all good things. So I have nothing to complain about, really. What I thought I would share with you today is I still have my page prep rally this weekend. So if you haven't been around lately, on Saturday from 2 to 5, we're going to be doing a page prep rally. This is a brand new thing for me. It's kind of to help me, but also to help all of you, I hope. So the plan is we're going to actually spend about 4 hours together, and we're going to give you the time to actually put some page kits together so that when you're ready to scrapbook, if you scrapbook, you'll be ready to go. So, I find that's really helpful, and I've gotten out of the habit of doing that recently, so I wanted to get myself set up with a bunch of page kits so that next time I have a couple of crops this season, I can actually maybe put some pages together while I'm at events. So the idea is we'll do a little bit of teaching. I'm going to kind of share some of my processes and methods with you, and then we're going to actually get stuff done, which is why it's great that it's virtual, so you can actually be in your craft room and work with your own supplies and get some page kits finished. So today in our live, I'm going to actually use one of the page kits I've created to show you how quickly a page can come together, hopefully. Hopefully the brain is working and I'm good and I can kind of sort something out pretty quickly. And then I also thought I'd show you a brand new exclusive tool. We'll do that first. I'm going to show you a brand new exclusive tool that is available right now to demonstrators to pre-order, and then it's going to be part of the new starter kit starting February 3rd. So if you join Stampin' Up! As either a hobbyist and get a discount, or if you want to start a little side business doing some crafty stuff, you can get this tool for free with your starter kit. So your starter kit is still the same, $99 plus tax. You pick $125 worth of product of your choice, and then you can get this tool for free. And then it will become part of the general offering, but there's no date for that. So I don't know when it will be available, and supplies are limited for the starter kits. So that obviously will take priority. So if you really want one, I'd say either become a demonstrator now so you can pre-order it, or wait because it's a better value. Join as a demonstrator February 3rd till March 2nd, and then you'll get one for free, which is really cool. So I'll show you that too. Let's go ahead and flip this around. Hi, Liz. And we'll get started. So I'm going to just do this. Let's make sure everything's good. Maybe I should put my light on. It's a little dark. Let me do that. We ended up getting way more snow than we normally do. Here on the Cape, we typically don't get a lot of snow, which is why I like living here. We tend to get spared, typically. Nate's calling me. He should know by now that I am live at 2 p.m. But we typically don't get a lot, and either we get slammed and everybody else gets nothing, or everybody else gets everything and we don't. And I feel like everywhere got lots of snow. We have about, I don't know, I didn't measure it, but I'd say probably 12 to 15 inches. I think we got more than what they said. So I'm ready for spring already. So we're going to do some Easter layouts is my plan. But let me show you this cool tool. Hi, Jen. So this is the new Stampin' Positioner. And like I said, you can get this for free in the Demonstrator Starter Kit starting on February 3rd. So next week. And I have not even opened this, you guys. So this is kind of like a, you know, the Misties or our old Stamparatus. So this is a new stamp positioning tool, and you get it for free. There is going to be some training on it, and I honestly have to do that because I have not played with it at all. But you've got the add-on of the grid paper, so you can add that on. And then you can basically, what this allows you to do is to do like, ooh, it's springy. You can do mass producing. So these are your magnets. So basically, and I have not played with it yet. So you would put your paper down, right? And actually, I feel like you actually put your paper down on this. I'm lying to you. You put your paper down here, right? And then you would put your stamp here, and you would stick it onto these little nubs, and then you would press down, right? So it would be positioned, and then you would just put your paper right back in the same spot, and like you can see, there's like a little guide here, so you could slip your paper in there so you knew exactly where it was, or you can use these notches, and so then you can do this, right? And then if you wanted, there's another plate here, and this will allow you to do like tiling. So you can attach it, and then, I don't know how you attach it, honestly. Like I said, I have not even opened this, so I need to play with it. But basically, you would do like all the way down. So you could kind of get like a pattern on your projects. And because there's no edges on this, you'll be able to like use it on larger pieces of cardstock too. So if you wanted to do something on your 12 by 12 paper, you could do that too. But I will definitely be sharing some more about this and how to use it, because like literally I just took it out of the box and I haven't done any of the training yet. But this is just an amazing tool to be able to get for free with your starter kit. So just something to keep in mind if you've ever thought about it, either just to get the discount if you love the Stampin' Up! Product and you really want one of these tools, you could do that. Or if you wanted to, like, you know, maybe offer classes or do anything like that, then definitely this would be a great thing to have, because it's going to make easy, effortless stamping. Especially if you tend to not get a really good, clear, crisp image, you can use that to kind of help you. So that is that. All right. So, hi, Gail. Hi, Deb. Hi, Ann. Last you measured it, 12.5. Yeah, it was crazy. I was not expecting so much more snow this morning. So we actually Nate had to snow blow a little bit in order to get out of the yard this morning at 5 a.m. So it's been crazy. All right, so if you didn't see this from last week, I showed you my page kits that I'd already put together. So this is basically what we're going to do this weekend. We're going to create these page kits. So they'll have photos, sketch inspiration, or even just photo inspiration, cardstock, base pages, pattern papers, maybe some ephemera, ribbons, textures, that kinds of things. And then you'll just have them ready to go, right? So the goal is that when you're ready to scrapbook, you can basically take this and create a page with it. So that's what I'm going to do with this here. So this is a double page kit. So we're going to see how quickly I can put together a page. Hopefully this works the way I planned, or the way I usually used it. And like I said, I haven't done it this way in a really long time, but I do find that it's super helpful. So you'll see I have a bunch of little elements that I put into this kit, right? Oops. And if you attend the page prep rally this weekend, I will give you a little checklist of things that I usually try to include in my page kits. And we'll have some sketches that are, this is obviously one from, this is actually Sue Ling's. She does them at her crop weekends, and I save those too, just for my page kits. But I will have some exclusive ones for you if you're part of the prep rally this weekend. And you can register online at craftwhatmatters.com if you're interested. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to put these together so that it'll be easy for you to scrapbook when you're ready. So I have a bunch of ephemera. I actually kept the negative for this too, just in case I decided to use that. I've got some die cuts. I've got some ephemera pieces. It's Easter page, so I did put like some Happy Easter. And I tend to be very linear, so I took 2 of everything. All right, so there's our numbers. This is kind of the page that I was thinking I would copy. And so that will give me an idea of where to start. And then I put in here some coordinating cardstock. I kind of went overboard with the coordinating cardstock. And then I also have my base pages and my pattern papers. So I saw this one is kind of like the background papers. And then this, I might cut some of the eggs out, or I might just use some of these pieces to accent the page. And so this one, they have like a few different patterns, but I'm kind of thinking I might just do the 2 patterns and then, you know, maybe mix in with some ephemera and stuff. I use my layouts as very like loose interpretations. All right, so let me just kind of move this away. So we have our little stash of things here, and I do have my photos in here. So this is my nephews, who are now like 24 and 30 and way older. So he's actually just turned 30, and he just got engaged. So I'm a little behind, but I actually don't scrapbook chronologically. So it's fine. And I'm actually working on scrapbooks for the boys. Heather got one when she graduated from college, but I didn't have a deadline for the boys because they didn't go to college. So maybe engagement will be the new rule for the boys. Once they get engaged, then they'll get their albums. But that means I'm going to get to work, right? So my thought is, like I said, like to do, let me just move this over so you guys can see the whole thing. Let me make sure that's good. I like to do like symmetrical kind of layouts. So I'm thinking I'm going to do this. But I'm going to have a border too. Like I'm going to leave a little bit of that crumb cake. So I might even leave it so that it's kind of like a frame around the whole layout. So I'm just going to cut off, and actually this is not the best printer or the best trimmer for small cuts. So let me stick that down here. I'm going to use this one. I just want to take off like a 1/2 inch on one side here. I think that will work for what I want to do. All right, so I got like a 1/2 inch off. I think I'm going to sneeze. I apologize. Like I said, I'm fighting something, so. Oh, I probably only wanted to do a 1/4 inch. But that's all right. I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off this side too. And then we should be able to even it out. All right. I should have shut off my heater when I closed the door, because now it's getting warm in here. All right. So if I put this all the way up against the edge here, yeah, I've got like a nice little border. It's a little thicker on the side here, but I'm okay with that. So I'm going to do the same thing for this one. We're just going to take a 1/2 inch off this side. And a 1/2 inch off this side. I really accomplished nothing yesterday other than shoveling and napping. So now, like today, I've been like trying to do a million things at once because there's so much that needs to be done. Isn't that always the way? All right. But I think my body needed a little break yesterday. So now I'm going to go ahead and use that as my little border. And maybe I'll just center them because I kind of cut them weird. And that will be better. So I'm just going to center them. I'm going to go ahead and tape those down because it's going to drive me crazy. And we still don't have Stampin' Seal in stock, and I ran out, so please disregard the contraband. I am going to use more of it because it typically doesn't hold very well. I really miss my Stampin' Seal, but hopefully that will be in stock again. I think it was for next week. The good thing is this does not stick very well, so when I put it on wrong, I can lift it up pretty easily. All right. So there's that one. This is really heavy duty paper. This is the Easter paper. I forget what it's called. Easter Day or something. And it's very, very thick. It's got gold on the back. This is, like, you could use this as a base page easily because it's, I feel like it's it's thicker than our two-tone cardstock. And I feel like it's thicker than our regular 12 by 12 cardstock, the old stuff. So you could definitely use this as a base page. I'm going to add a little extra again just because this tape is not the best. But I'm going to do what you got to do. I always forget to order adhesive because it's not fun, you guys. I want to order the new stamps and the new papers and the new things, not adhesive and cardstock. It's just not as much fun, but it's necessary. All right, so there's part one. And then I'm going to actually go ahead and do some photo mats next, because that's usually what I want next. I could do the green, because I think that would look nice, or the white might make it pop more. Where's my pictures? Here they are. So I think for this double page spread, this is like all the Easter hunt. So these are these guys looking for the Easter eggs, and this is them hiding the Easter eggs. And then, of course, seeing, like, she's hiding, he's hiding. And then that's the big, like, reveal. So I only actually have Jeffrey searching. So I might actually not do, I don't know, because this isn't a great picture. I might not do that one. This one's kind of cute because you can kind of tell what he's doing. But I think I might stick with the younger boys here. These are my brother's two boys. That's my brother. So I think the best pictures of these are probably these two. I like this one too because they're like so involved, but it kind of cuts off my brother's head. At least this one, it's a better frame. So I'm going to use those two on that side. And then these two, or these three, I like this one. This one, these are all kind of fun. I might cut these down and use all of them actually. So, I'm going to use these four will be cut. These I might trim down just a little bit. Let's just kind of even this out. So I'm going to like trim it down. We'll say 5 1/4. And then I like that the fact that the date is on here, but I don't want it really showing. So I'm going to do 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. And then I'll keep this so I have it. This was my mom's photos actually. So she was always really good about printing the date. And then what did I say this was? 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. I just want to make sure that this is the same. So I'm going to just take a little bit off of each. So we'll do some here and some here, so it remains kind of centered. And then I don't really want to cut too much more of that off. So I'm going to just cut enough for the date to come off so you can still see those eggs. I kind of wish we didn't have to cut all of that off. And then I could have probably just covered the date, honestly, and left those eggs, but that's all right. So now I have those two. And then these, I think I'm going to trim down to like maybe, are they all vertical? I think I could do all of these vertical. So I'm going to do 3 by 4s, I think. So now, once I have that kind of situated, now I know what size I want for my mats. So we've got 3 by 4. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'm just eyeballing this, you guys. I'm actually going to cut that car out of the background. This was in the backyard at the house I grew up in, actually. This was my mom and dad's house. This was my bedroom window right here and here. It was really hard when we sold that house after my parents passed. I still sometimes drive by it, but it makes me really sad, so I try not to. But it's good. One of the neighbors in our neighborhood, their kid bought it, I believe. And so new memories are being made there. All right, so there we go. We've got those. So that means now I can cut my photo mats. So I think, I'm just going to do this for a quick second. I think the white are going to stand out more off that green. So I think I'm going to do the white photo mats. So let's just do, and I'm going to mat all of them. So we need 2 that are, what did we say these were? 3 1/2 by 5 1/4, right? 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. Yeah, so I need 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. 5 1/2 by 3 3/4. 1 and 2. And then these will be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. 4 1/4 And then 3 1/4. Did I only put 1 sheet of white in here? Well, that was, oh no, I didn't. I put more than 1. I was going to say that's silly. 4 1/4. And how many of those did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of those. So I got 2. And I need 2 more. And I'm going to go ahead and just tape those down. This is the good thing about actually working with physical photos, because having the photos in place really allows you to really completely assemble the page without having to, like, you know, use dimensional or something that you can tuck a photo in under after the fact. So, sorry, my voice is getting kind of scratchy. All right. So I'm just going to tape these down. And again, I apologize for the contraband, but I haven't been able to order my seal. All right. And I just pulled these photos, were in my stash. So I mean, I did just print a bunch of photos from more recently, because I do tend to be more inspired to scrapbook with more recent photos than the old stuff that's been hanging around for a while. But like I said, I'm trying to get together some books for the boys to give them either when they're engaged or whenever I finally finish them. But it's nice to be able to kind of tackle some of those backlog, right? So just get them out of your hair. And I've been very ruthless this week. So if you're participating in the page prep rally this weekend, which I would love for you to do, be ruthless with your photos. So like, I'm going through my photos, and if I know I'm not going to scrapbook it, then toss it. Toss it. Like, we don't need to hang on to it. And then, like, I've been holding on to wedding photos from, like, all my friends' weddings and my cousins' weddings. They all seem to happen in the early 2000s. And I was thinking, oh, I'll do a wedding album someday. I'm like, I'm not going to. So I just bought a photo album, and I'm sticking them all in there. They're all easily to see, like, if I ever wanted to access them, or maybe I do want to scrapbook a certain picture, then that's fine. But I don't have to, like, give myself the stress of trying to scrapbook an album that's, or like an event that happened forever ago, right? I want to focus on the things that, like, are the stories that I really want to tell. All right, so this is the egg hunt, right? And then, so I'm thinking maybe I'll do something like that for those photos, and maybe this for these. I'm thinking, maybe. What I think I might do is this striped ribbon, so this striped paper, I'm thinking I'm going to use as, like, part of the design. And actually, I wasn't even looking. So, like, I was going to use this, right? And I was thinking I'd use those strips. But it doesn't really necessarily work as well with these small photos. Although I could. What if we did this? If we did cute little cubes. And like that. All right. And then I could put, like, maybe a strip of this on that side, so it's the opposite side of this, and then use that on the other side. That could be cute. I kind of like that too. I think that's a little better. A little more linear, more my style. Hi, Marcia. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut like a 3-inch, maybe. I think that'll be enough. 3-inch piece of this to kind of go along the side here to ground that. And then I might actually pull in that shamrock color so that I can have something to kind of situate those photos on. So, like, we'll say 8 by, like, it's probably gonna be like 9.5. But I'm thinking we'll put like something like this. I don't want it that long though. 9.5, 10.5, so 11, 1.5 inches off maybe here. Like that. And then stick this here, just to kind of break up that a little bit and allow the photos to be a little more of the focal point. Like that. And I may actually do it so that that overlaps a little bit. Okay. There we go. All right, now, what's on the back side of this? Ooh, perfect. Just some kind of some plain crumb cake. I might use a little strip of that here too to ground it. But let's actually cut another piece of this first. I'm thinking a little bit bigger, maybe 4 inches to fill some of this place. Or maybe that'll be too busy actually. But I'm gonna do 4 because I might flip it over and use the crumb cake part and then just do a little accent of the stripe. So let's move this over so you can kind of see. So I'm thinking we'll do this. I got to trim the bottom. And then maybe just a little thin, maybe like 1.5 inches for this. Almost kind of just put that on the edge there. And again, I got to cut that down. And then I want just a thin little, maybe like 1 inch. So I'm making the most of this pattern paper that I put in here. And then whatever's left, because I have another Easter layout page kit, I'll probably just throw the leftovers in that other kit, which is great when you have like multiple page kits that are featured on the same photos in the same event, because you can kind of share stuff between. So I put more stuff in this kit than I did in the other one. So, all right. So that's that. I'm liking where this is going. I might have to tape some stuff down, but now I feel like this also needs a little bit of that shamrock to kind of equal it out. How big did we do? 9.5 by, let's do 9.5 by, we'll do 7.25. I might change it. So 7.25, 8.25, so 1.25 inches off this side. I'm too lazy to extend my thing here, so, and then 9.5 from 11 would be 10.5, so another 1.5 inches on this side. Hopefully, I just did my math right. They say you're supposed to measure twice and cut once, but I may have messed that up. Nope, I did not. All right, so that goes like that. I'm gonna pull these photos out. So you can see how fast this is coming together because I have all the stuff in the kit. So it's like ready to go. And I even put some title ideas in here. So actually I'm going to switch those and put that there and this here. I could do some stamping on this if I wanted to. That's the only thing I typically don't include in the kit, although I might make a note, like on a post-it note, like coordinates with this stamp set, so that if I'm going to a crop or something, I could bring that with me as an option, right? I'm gonna go ahead and tape these photos down because I like that. I may end up switching this so it goes over like that too, I think. I like that. All right, so let's tape this down while I have them where I want them. And I'm going super fast. Like, I don't normally scrapbook this quickly. I tend to hem and haw over every little thing. But again, this is why I like those, having the page kit, because it just sort of limits your possibilities and makes things less decisions, right? They say we make like 60,000 decisions a day, right? So let's kind of limit the decisions we need to make for our scrapbooking, right? That's kind of the goal. I always hear from my customers that the two things they struggle with most when it comes to scrapbooking is time and ideas. And I think sometimes the idea part is just because there's so many dang decisions to make, right? So let's put this here. All right, so that's good. And then we'll line this up with this. And we're gonna go ahead, and that's gonna go here. And I'm gonna go, some page layouts call for 2x2 or 3x3s. How do you print those for your pages? So if you have the, I have the, oh gosh, Project Life app, and there's different photo apps. I can't think of the other one. I'll find out the name of it for you, but I can't think of it at the moment. I use the Project Life app. I don't actually do Project Life, really. But they have an app that gives you like a collage option, and you can actually print like 6 2x2s on a 4x6 layout, and then I just print them at home. Otherwise, you could use like an app like Persnickety Prints or something like that that actually prints the different sizes. But I find that I have a Picturemate 400, which is the photo printer I use at home, and that's how I print those smaller photos. You can also print like 2 up of 3x4s, so you could kind of make a 4x6 photo and have 2 3x4s, so they're 2 separate photos. If I had thought of it, I would have brought that with me to share with you, because I have printed those, but you can also do it with other sizes, so like 2x2s. 3x3s would be a little trickier, but I think they do have a layout in the collage section, like the printing section, to be able to do those with other sizes, I believe. So so yeah, that's how I do it. I'm not sure, maybe if anybody's listening and you have other ways you do it, please feel free to help Marsha out. But that is what I do. I use the Project Life app, and it's from Becky Higgins. She's been around and in the scrapbooking world for a really long time, and she has like a digital Project Life app where you can actually document your memories via digital. And I mean, I've done a little bit of it. I've made some pages, but I've never printed them. I just prefer paper and scissors and glue, right? But the collage option for that is really helpful. All right, so I'm gonna just attach this too. I'm being very much unlike myself and just committing, because normally I do not commit. Oh, and actually these are the full length, so I'm gonna go ahead and line it up with the edge of the pattern paper and then tape that down. You could have, if you had kind of planned ahead, you could have kind of chopped off that other half, so you're saving that little bit of pattern paper, which if I had known that's what I was going to do, I might have done that, and I could have, but I went like full force into doing this, and I just taped everything down. So a lot of times, like I said, I usually, most of the time, I'll lay everything out first, and then tape everything down once I've got it, like once I'm sure I have everything where I want it to go. But because we're on video right now, it's easier to work with things not moving around, so that's why I did it that way. But typically I would probably have cut all of that off, and then I'd have that to use on the next page too if I wanted to. I may or may not use it, but at least I have it. All right, so I'm gonna just tape this down, and this is probably going to be a pretty minimal layout, and I may like embellish it even more after the fact, but I'm going to try to stick to whatever was in my page kit. So, all right. Ooh, it's getting warm in here. My little space heater works fabulously. This room is nice and toasty. All right, so there's that. Now I did have some elements here. And this is the only time that it's sometimes good not to tape everything down, because like maybe I wanted to put this, although I didn't use great adhesive, so I might be able to do that, but maybe I wanted to kind of put this in here somewhere or what have you, but we will work with it. So now I like to do my little clusters. And I'm thinking over here, I kind of pulled this one thinking this would be a great spot for the title. So maybe up here, so it's not covering anything. See, I could have covered that date if I had kept it, but that's okay. Like right here would be good. And I'm going to do Easter. I have all the letters, but maybe I write it, because I wanted something kind of bulky to fit in there. This was 2011, so maybe I could just use the 2011 on this. Right? I like that because it's kind of chunky and it fits on that nicely. And then I could just use this Happy Easter 2011, and then you kind of get the idea, right? So that could be a nice little cover or a nice little title. So I like that. And then we have some other little bits and ends here. So this kind of matches that pink color. So I was thinking maybe we could tuck this in somewhere. And this is also the good thing about using kind of chintzy adhesive, is I can kind of get back in there and build stuff up here. Just kind of try and like make a little cluster of sorts here. And I do need some journaling. Actually, I feel like this should be like that. Oh, but it has the banner end. So maybe put this down a little bit. Put that like that. And then I was thinking, because I have this other pattern, right? I have some of these little eggs, so my thought is to cut out, I know, I'm going to fussy cut some of those hearts and maybe a few, some of those eggs and maybe a few of those flowers to scatter about. I think I'll probably do that off camera just because it will take a little bit, but I'll definitely share the end result when I'm done, just so that you can see the finished result. I do want a little journaling, so maybe, actually, we have that little tab there. Maybe stick this like here, and then I could do a little bit of journaling there. It's not a lot of space, but I do kind of like the green popping off on that crumb cake. Or I could do kind of maybe attached to this here, just to add a little more weight to that cluster. I like that too. And then maybe I use this as the journaling, and maybe I attach it there. So you can see I'm just kind of playing with the bits and pieces that I saved, and I already did Happy Easter, so I'm not going to do this. I'll save it for the other one. I'm going to definitely do some of these little eggs and flowers, and we'll tuck those around. Whoops, I just dropped stuff. Okay. And then I'm thinking journaling. This I like. I just don't know where I want to put the journaling right yet. Dang dog fur. How does dog fur get on my counter? I don't know. I'm thinking somewhere in here. Definitely over here somewhere. I just don't know how I want it to be. I don't know if I like it being so much white over here. So maybe I'll break it up with a little bit of this too. I gotta kind of figure out what I want to say. Oh, I like that better, I think. Sometimes I have to step away from it too to kind of see what I like. But you can see how that's coming together, right? And then, like I said, I'm going to cut some of these eggs from that paper that I had in my stash. I'm going to cut some of those little flowers, the bigger ones, and I'll kind of sprinkle those around the page. And then I think I'll maybe put like a little egg cluster here and maybe like a couple of little single eggs kind of tucked around just to kind of spread that out. And then I feel like it needs a little texture too. And sometimes I'll actually tie it right around an image, but I didn't do that first. So maybe I'll tie it around like the journaling thing here, or I might even just do like a big floppy bow and attach it with a glue dot. So let's just see where we might put that. But you can see, like, pretty much this is done now. I just have to kind of do a little bit of fine tuning. And I mean, I could go into my die stash and, like, you know, make some extra little things to go along with this. But I feel like I have everything I need right here in this kit. So yeah, so like something like that. Maybe I'll just kind of stick it down here. And then also I have these, which I've shown them before. Like I have these little bins of miscellaneous little odds and ends sort of stuff. So I will bring this when I bring page kits too, because then I don't have to die cut. But like this butterfly could be perfect for a certain layout, right? I have little campers, I have flowers, I have sentiments. So I can definitely use those too. So I always bring that. It also has like some glitter paper if I wanted to add a little sprinkle of fun to it. So those are really handy to have just in case you forgot to bring something or put something in your page kit. You'll have that for later. And those are just misfit pieces that didn't make it on another layout. I just throw them in a bin and then I keep them for later. So that's kind of this page. So I will assemble it and I will go ahead and post the picture for you in a little bit just so you can kind of see the end result. But that's basically how those page kits will work. And now I can take all of this leftover stuff and even that layout, because I didn't really use it that much, and stick that in my other Easter layout in case I need some more bits and bobs and pieces for that one. So there you have it. It's just, I didn't have to go into anything in my stash. Everything was in my bag. It just makes it really easy. So if you want to join us for the page kit prep rally this weekend, there's still time. Just go to craftwhatmatters.com. It's $26, but you will go ahead and have a full day of time and inspiration, along with a little bit of learning and teaching as part of that class. So hopefully you'll find it super beneficial and you'll get a lot of product or a lot of page kits ready so that when you're ready to scrapbook, you'll be ready to go and be able to put together a bunch of pages at once. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay warm, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.